when Amazon gives you certain data, like all of a sudden they give you brand analytics, which is phenomenal, by the
Yes.
way. Oh my God.
Amazing.
My geeked out data brain went like, what? You're telling me where I convert better than everyone else? Well, I'm doubling down there. Well, they want that, right? They give you that information. So you optimize for things you do best, right? And then the customer has a better experience all the way through. Customer who wants the thing that you're selling is more likely to find you, and everything is better all the way through. They don't give you that data to try to figure out a way to hack around it. They're giving you data that can really help you partner up and make sure that you're creating the best listings, the best products, the best things for their customer because they win both ways.
Mhm. No doubt. And for those folks that are not familiar with brand analytics, you
Yeah.
have to be a brand registered seller on Amazon in order to be able to see that. So if you haven't done brand registry, go ahead and do that. You have to have a trademark and a whole process, but essentially get brand registered on Amazon. You'll have access and keys to the kingdom, just like Leslie mentioned, and a whole lot more. I don't know about you, Leslie, but I feel like when it comes to data from Amazon right now, it's like drinking out of a fire hose. It used to be a
Yeah.
little trickle, and that's why a lot of people tried to do these black hat hacks of trying to extort or bribe people within Amazon to get this information. Now it's freely available.
You're listening to
What?
What the Tech.
Welcome to the What the Tech podcast, where we talk about business and office technology and put our 20 years of expertise to discussing trends and issues impacting the workplace.
Hey, it's Rolando here.
And of course, I'm here too, Rolando. I'm Dave.
Yes, I'm glad you're here with me today, but we're not alone today. It's me, you, and Leslie.
This will be excellent. I'm looking forward to our show today, Rolando.
All right. Yes, I know. This person that we've got on today, Dave, is somebody that I've wanted to talk to on the podcast. I've talked to her off the podcast, but she's such a wonderful person. She knows her way in and out of Amazon, knows way more than that, knows a whole lot of stuff. And I wanted her to share some of that information with our audience and the world. She was on Shark Tank, so she's got to be smart. Got to be
Yeah.
smart to stand out in front of those sharks, pointing
brave.
and doing what they do to try to intimidate you in some ways to see if you're worthy of their time.
That's right. So let's hit this off. Welcome to the What the Tech podcast. It's in part 8 of a special series on how to grow your Amazon business faster. Today's guest is Leslie Pierson, inventor, serial entrepreneur, and proud partner. That's right, proud partner. She wasn't just a guest. She's now a proud partner of Shark Tank's Lori Greiner.
Greiner, I think it's
Greiner.
pronounced.
I studied that and I still screwed it up. And a proud partner of
Let's
Shark
keep that
Tank's
in.
Lori Greiner. And as always, if you want to get a full experience and sound effects, you'll want to make sure that you're listening with some headphones or a nice new pair of earbuds.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dave, awesome. Before we get rolling with Leslie, I want to give big props to somebody that was on our podcast last week, Brandon Knight. Hey, Brandon. Brandon dropped some serious 411 on us regarding the mindset and psychology of call center managers. There's so many businesses trying to sell software and hardware and services into those places. But quite often, Dave, you know that it's hard to get in touch with them. They make themselves unavailable, and they make it sometimes very impossible by obfuscating what their real intentions are. With Brandon, we learned what's in the mind of a call center manager, as well as what actually works when you're trying to get in touch with them.
That's right.
So-
And what was really cool about the interview was, you know what? We've all been supporting this work from anywhere mentality. Don't be afraid to log in if you're in a hotel room or if you're in a busy lobby. Don't be afraid to join a podcast if you're outside taking a break at a trade show. He joined us from a hotel room and he had a nice little setup there. And I just, you know what? I love when people can embrace that work from anywhere spirit. And also, if you're looking for product demos and product comparisons for real life work from anywhere environments, you got to make sure that you check out our channel on YouTube. It's youtube.com at Global Tech Worldwide.
All right, Dave. Awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about Leslie so we can bring her out. Let me tell you who she is and what she's about. Leslie is a serial entrepreneur and the mastermind behind 2 successful companies. Let me tell you, that's no small feat. Her first venture, GoodHangups, offers a patented magnetic hanging solution that won't damage your walls. I know a lot of people listening would love to have something like that. And after appearing on Shark Tank in 2016 and receiving 3, not 1, count them 1, 2, 3, Dave, 3 offers from the Sharks, Leslie closed a deal with Lori and has since grown the product's exposure on multiple platforms. In addition to GoodHangups, Leslie is also the president of Hot Taco. I love that name. A company that creates infectious card games. Woo! Taco Burrito, which is a best-selling game, was developed by her 7-year-old son and since has become a multi-million-dollar sensation on Amazon. She's going to tell us about that and more. Let's bring on to the podcast serial entrepreneur Leslie Pierson.
Hello.
Oh,
Welcome to the podcast, Leslie.
thank you so much for having me on. This is great. I love the podcast. This is awesome to be here.
Awesome. Where are you checking in from today?
In Seattle. I'm in the belly of the beast. We're
Oh,
talking
you're
Amazon.
near the
I'm
mothership.
in the, yep. Mhm.
Oh, awesome. Leslie, thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for joining us today.
Quick read from our sponsor. Rolando, did you know that a person needs an average of 7 to 8 hours of sleep per day?
Say what?
That is absolutely true. 7 to 8 hours per day. We all know it. It's been drilled into our
More.
minds, but how many of us are actually getting there? And
Not
listen,
me.
how many of us know business people that are giving their personal cell phone numbers to their customers and their clients? It's, I
Ooh.
get it, but they're potentially going to call in the middle of the night and they're going to interrupt their sleep. Listen, if you're giving your personal cell phone number to your customers and clients, stop doing that. Did you know that you can easily use Zoom, whom we all know and love? You know, it's work from anywhere season here at Global Tech Worldwide. But with Zoom, you can take back your night. You can actually have a work phone number and your Zoom phone calls all on one device without giving away that personal cell phone number. Zoom Phone allows you to keep that personal phone number separate so that you can rest more easily and be more efficient during the day. So contact Global Tech Worldwide. We are your Zoom partner. Talk to us. Check us out at tech.global/Zoom to get started today. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. All right, Rolando, back to you.
Awesome, Dave. Zoom phone. I don't like people calling me in the middle of the night if I'm trying to get my sleep. I don't know about you, Leslie.
No, I would.
Yeah.
I don't keep my phone near me when I'm trying to sleep, but I could always use more sleep. That's for sure.
We all could. I try to keep my phone at night in the bathroom, right?
Oh, that's smart.
Completely away so it's not dinging and donging in the middle of the night. So, Leslie, let's jump into it. You know,
Okay.
I want to know. There's so much going on right now. It's an interesting time to be alive. What tech or thing would you say you're geeking out on, or you're fascinated, or is really intriguing right now to you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Obviously, I mean, I'm going to go with what most people are probably saying these days, but anything AI, it's fascinating me right now.
Yeah.
I came from tech before, so my previous world, I worked as a systems analyst, so I was a consultant for a long time before I
Yeah,
started
okay.
making products. So it kind of scratches that itch of kind of the geeked out, like, oh, I miss the before and after of doing any kind of tech projects that I used to do. So I think the AI stuff is so exciting. It's a little distracting, and I find I have to put a lot of guardrails on myself, or I could easily go down that rabbit hole and just,
Oh,
what
no doubt.
business? What should I be doing? I don't know. But, and yeah, I would say AI, just the way that everything is advancing so fast.
Amazing. It's amazing. I think that ChatGPT, which is obviously the one most people are talking about these days, they got to 100 million users faster than other platforms, faster than
Yeah.
Instagram, faster than Facebook, faster than TikTok. 100 million users within 8 weeks, which is crazy, crazy.
Right.
And now, as of this taping, they're on 4.0 and going strong. And now we're hearing, you may have heard this too, Amazon is going to get into the AI wars
Yeah,
as well. So they're
for
taking a
sure.
slightly different approach, but they want the piece of that pie. I think it's amazing how ChatGPT, we call ChatGPT around here internally, we call him Eddie.
Well,
We
we
gave,
call her
we,
Chatty Kathy.
I
Um,
love it. I love
Daily,
it, Chatty.
our team, we always say, start your day. We all have ClickUp tasks. And every
Yeah.
week in our L10 meetings, we do EOS. Every week in our meetings, we share anything we learned. But we start the day with what could Chatty Kathy help us with
Nice.
today? Because
Nice.
often, just a research or a question, there's so many things that it can just prompt, even if it's just prompts from
Sure.
a
Mhm.
daily basis. It's great.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah,
know.
I call her Chatty Kathy.
I love it.
We've all embraced our version of Chatty Cathy as a member of the team. And when we had our recent town hall session, so we had all of our remote team, everyone was dialed in. We were
Yeah.
having some fun and we had a contest. And the contest was show the team how you're using AI in your day to day. And we're all different walks of life, different
Yeah.
responsibilities for the organization. And I got so much out of that short
Oh, yeah.
session because you think about, hey, this would be really great to write customer service emails. And then the customer service team is doing that. But then when you look at, hey, you know what? Help me come up with a 30-day business strategy on how to market this new product launch on LinkedIn. Like, boom, it spits it out.
Completely. Yeah. Ro, when you had said about how like they grew to however many million faster
100,
than
100
anybody
mil.
else, I wonder if they asked ChatGPT how to grow to 100 million. Like I feel like, we start our quarters, we do EOS, so we have rocks or projects per quarter. And we always start off with, okay, let's talk to Chatty Cathy and see what she can give us advice on. Like, we're thinking about how would we grow a community program, some sort of community buildings,
Interesting.
being as we're an Amazon business, we don't have
Yeah.
access to our customers. How do we grow that? And a lot of the beginning of that started from asking Chat GPT and then digging into some of the things they came up with. And it wasn't writing it for us exactly, but it was prompting and helping along the way. It's like a never sleeping assistant who can give you at least help you with the direction.
Yeah, and it gets everyone's gears moving.
Yeah.
If you can use that to get your team's gears moving, to really
Yeah.
come up with some ideas and then implement it and then get success from that.
Yeah.
I mean, like they say, AI is not going to take over your job. It's the
But
people
someone who knows AI will take over
Yes.
you.
that know how to
Indeed.
use it properly
Yeah.
that will
Yeah.
prosper. So yeah, it's
Indeed.
an exciting.
For the Amazon seller, a brand that's in the Amazon space, it's
Yeah.
moving. The implementation of AI into the tools is
Yeah.
amazing. I just saw something from Zon Guru that makes
Yeah.
it easier. I mean, Healing
I
10
want a
is working on.
6-month free trial of that
Oh, you're working?
program with
How's that
yeah.
going?
It's
How's that
great.
Zon
It's
Guru?
really
I've been hearing a lot of good things about
yeah.
Zon Guru.
It's really cool. Our ops manager is digging into it. But yeah, we saw a demo in MDS. I'm in a group with Ro and
$1
it
million
was awesome.
sellers, for those
Yeah.
that don't know what MDS means.
It's a great group. If you hit $1 million worth of sales on Amazon, consider joining MDS. It is the best thing.
Agreed. There's some really cool people like yourself.
And yourself.
And a ton. We'd do a disservice if we go down the list of people, because some people
Oh,
that
yeah.
feel left out if we shout out here and there. But there's a lot of really good people, and it is amazing, Leslie, how your experiences. You're in a different category than we are on Amazon, but the learnings. Oh, this happened, and then
Yeah.
oh yeah, I didn't know that's going on. Or you like to say,
Totally.
we spoke to so and so, and here's what we found out, and you're like, whoa, that's coming down the line. And it's just amazing how, as a group, you just learning, even though you're in a different completely line of business, but there's a lot to download, essentially, right?
Right.
If we use that term, a lot to download on an ongoing basis. It never ends. Like this week,
Completely.
something that happened here. Next week, nope, that we're gonna erase that, and we're gonna do that, and then the following week,
Totally.
and things just kind of pop up. I don't know. It's just like a crazy time right now.
It is. I agree completely.
Well, let's go on to something. I want to tap that brain of yours for a moment. So what I want you to do, we're going to play a little game. Since you're in a games category,
I
I want to
am.
play a little game. This is fill in the blank. I'm going to give you a phrase, and I want you to fill in the blank. As somebody that knows their way around Amazon, Amazon sellers should never blank. So I'm going to repeat that.
Yeah.
Amazon sellers should never blank. What would you put in that blank?
I might be controversial here, but I would say do anything black hat. I
You
think
should never do anything black hat. Is that what you're saying?
gray or black hat. I
Gray or black.
say, I think there are a lot of people who will tell you ways to get around things, shortcuts, hacks. One of the things I believe is you should see Amazon as a partner. And if you're screwing over your partner to get ahead today, what's it going to do to you down the road? And
Mhm.
everything's traceable. You might think you're getting away with something, but you're not. You know,
Right.
I was lucky enough never to have done the buying reviews and stuff like that. We didn't ever go that route.
I
And
didn't
now
know what
I'm
it meant, that buy,
Yeah.
sell, search. It took me, I don't know, over a year to even like I'm like, what are you talking? I hear so
Yeah.
many, you buy, sell, buy. I don't even know how to
Oh, search,
buy
find,
or
buy.
there
That's
you
the one I hear people say. Yeah.
That's the one.
I mean,
That's the
Say it
one.
again. What's it called?
Search, find, buy. But don't look it up if you're listening because you don't want to do this because you might not see anything negative happen to you if you did it. You might see a
But
positive short term, but you don't know the long term impact on your account. And really, if you want to succeed on Amazon, you have to see Amazon as the best business partner you can have. They're giving
and
you
that's
the
hard.
tools. Yeah,
And that's
it's hard.
hard.
Yeah, it's hard. But if you see it as they're giving you these tools, they're telling you the path they want you to take forward. If you focus on optimizing and maximizing those tools and really leaning into what they're telling you they value, you will succeed. You
Right.
know, if you decide to take the back end part, you could succeed for a little while and then get shut down. And really, you might be sad about that, but your business partner is Amazon. And
Mhm.
I come from, our previous product line that we did, that we went on Shark Tank with. I went into big box retail. So I was in-store Walmart and store Bed Bath & Beyond. You had no access when you're in-store Walmart to where it's going to be placed, right? You can't say, I'd like an end cap. Or I'd like it to be placed here. You can't even be sure they put it out on the store shelf. And if they didn't, like you have one store that never sold anything, you can't do anything about it. And the buyer will change. And then all of a sudden they're not ordering as much and you have no control over that. Amazon is totally different. You have total access. It's up to you to do the work, to work within the system, to maximize everything that
Right.
is out there.
Here comes a pro tip.
Yeah, I think it's important for every seller to work within what Amazon is giving you and the system that they are telling you to work within and not try to look for workarounds or hacks or things that might game the system. If they've shown you what tools they have, take advantage of those.
Absolutely. And I was having a tongue twister on search, find, buy.
Yeah.
Search, find. Is that it? And am I still screwing
Yeah.
it up?
It's good that you don't know. It's good.
I feel like a dummy when I try to talk about it because I only understood. I never did it, but you've heard this, that
Yeah.
that in the last 6 months, Amazon's even cracked down on the Facebook groups that were part of all of this.
I'm
And
glad.
going
To
out.
be honest, I'm thrilled because it always was a hack. I love the fact that Amazon is stopping. If they don't like a behavior and they're blocking it or shutting things down or
Mhm.
penalizing, that'll just encourage people to play within the system the way that it's intended. I'm in a category of games. It's not prone to this type of stuff because games are not competitive the way, like if I sold a spatula and I'm competing against all the other spatulas, and
Yes.
maybe people feel a little more prone to do more things. But in games, you buy multiple games. You're not buying one game. You're buying multiple games. So I might not get your sale today, but I could get your sale tomorrow. So these types of things have never appealed. I'm just somebody who likes to play by the rules and work the system as the way it is. And like I said, I see in my old world of working with physical retail, they were a partner that wouldn't communicate, wouldn't help you. You had no control. Amazon's a partner that will let you scale the way you want to scale. Yes, there are always hiccups and things to work around, but as long as you're working the system, you have control. You have control how much inventory you send. You have
Mhm.
control over how much advertising you spend. You can look like you're on that end cap all day long if you want.
And you can experiment with new things. You got me
Yes.
thinking, embracing Amazon as a partner.
Yeah.
So I would say it was about 2.5 years ago when Rolando, who's part of the different Facebook groups, including yours, and Rolando will come back and he'd always do some weekly download things that he's hearing that's out there. And before we were doing content creation, a podcast, really just video in general, before we really took this dive into it, I remember Rolando saying, Amazon wants more video. Amazon wants more
Yeah.
content. And that's when it started. We did Amazon Live events
Great.
about 2.5 years ago. Was it 1 or 2 days? We had rented a studio. We didn't know
Two
what we
days.
were doing. We rented a
Yeah.
couple of people. We went out there to Massachusetts. Rolando came up from the DC area. I went down from New Hampshire. We hung out for a couple of days. We did this big event. And from there, we started doing weekly Amazon Live. And then we started doing more
Cool.
video for using it for the Q&A section. And
Yes.
so I think
That's so great.
unknowingly, we were, Rolando knowingly, me unknowingly, really embracing Amazon and what they were looking for. And we just started
Right.
feed it to them. And it was helping us to kind of just get more exposure for our brand. And
Completely.
and we've never been a hack company, but we've certainly have seen it within our space where people are just
Yeah.
they're just treating it like a side hustle. And when you go to their stores and you look at customer reviews, you can pick out a side hustle in your lane pretty quickly out here.
Yeah. Agree completely. And I think that's great. And we look for that too. When Amazon gives you certain data, like all of a sudden they give you brand analytics, which is phenomenal, by the
Yes.
way. Oh my
Amazing.
God. My geeked out data brain went like, what? You're telling me where I convert better than everyone else? Well, I'm doubling down there. Well, they want that, right? They give you that information. So you optimize for things you do best, right? And then the customer has a better experience all the way through. Customer who wants the thing that you're selling finds you, is more likely to find you, and everything is better all the way through. They don't give you that data to try to figure out a way to hack around it. They're giving you data that can really help you partner up and make sure that you're creating the best listings, the best products, the best things for their customer, because they win both ways.
Mhm.
No doubt. And for those folks that are not familiar with brand analytics, you have
Yeah.
to be a brand registered seller on Amazon in order to be able to see that. And it opens up. So if you haven't done brand registry, go ahead and do that. You have to have a trademark and the whole process, but essentially get brand registered on Amazon. You'll have access and keys to the kingdom, just like Leslie mentioned, and a whole lot more. I don't know about you, Leslie, but I feel like when it comes to data from Amazon right now, it's like drinking out of a fire hose. It used to be a
Yeah.
little trickle, and that's why a lot of people tried to do these black hat hacks of trying to extort or bribe. We know that's public information now. Bribe people within Amazon to get this information. Now it's freely available.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's great. And I agree 100% on brand registry. I think if you're a seller today and you're not brand registered, go do it.
Here comes a pro tip.
If you're an Amazon seller and you're not brand registered, consider looking at the IP accelerator within Seller Central. You'll find it in there, and you can find someone to help you register a trademark. But if you do it through Amazon, they'll fast track. A trademark might take a year to get, but you can get access to brand registry faster if you use their accelerator program. So I would highly recommend it.
That is nice, that shortcut. It didn't exist, and now it exists. So
Yeah.
take full advantage of it. And speaking of taking advantage of things, Leslie, I want to continue on with your journey. You were on Shark Tank, and very few people in the world know what that was like. I saw the episode. I watch Shark Tank regularly myself, and that show has evolved, and so have the sharks. They've gotten more sharky over the years. But I want to ask you, since you were on Shark Tank, you got a deal. What has that done to your experience as an entrepreneur? Was there anything that came out of that? You're like, I'm going to do this better, or I'm going to do this different?
Oh, yeah. I'm a super fan of the show too. I had watched every episode before I did the show, and I still can't believe I did it. Sometimes I feel like it's like a drunken dream or something. Like, I don't know how that happened to me, but I would say I prepare a lot for that, for doing the show. And I basically practiced every question they ever asked on the show. And now I help people prepare to do the show because, it's a lot of wasted knowledge because it's not like pitching a VC, a regular VC, it's TV. So it's different. But I would say doing a deal with Lori was amazing. It was great. The access to just understand how things are happening at the level that other sharks are doing things. Other Shark Tank companies have done things. And we have a Facebook group and we have a reunion every year of people who used to be on Shark Tank, which is
Yeah.
so much fun. And
What's Lori like? I see her public persona from
yeah,
Shark Tank, but I don't
yeah,
know her.
yeah.
You partnered with her. What's she like?
She's great. She's great. And I think she's amazing. She's so great at product that's retail focused or that would
Hmm.
be Amazon focused. So she was the person I wanted from the get go.
That's
So it was pretty great to end up getting to partner with her. And I have to say also, I always give a shout out to her husband because I don't think people realize that her husband's a former CPA and has tons of great business advice. She is like the master marketer. When we used to do QVC before, and then once we did a deal with Lori, she started doing
Ah,
QVC. It was amazing to watch how night and day different it was. Ours was a successful, but hers was amazing because people trust her, right?
right.
And plus I was very happy I didn't have to go to QVC anymore. But yeah, I think the two of them have such a great relationship and such a great nurturing mindset. It's awesome. He's really got the kind of back end business side of things. If you have any questions on the financial sides or anything you're navigating, she is just the master marketer, can open up doors and things like that. So it's amazing. They're great people.
So if you want to give him a shout out, give him a shout out. This is the time.
Yeah, Dan Greiner.
There you
He's
go, Dan.
amazing. Lori and Dan are just inspiration, a great couple, and great people.
Awesome.
So when we started with Amazon Live, we were looking at it like, hey, this is like the
Yeah.
QVC of the Amazon. People can
Yep.
write in some questions. Have you thought about doing anything on Amazon Live, or have you?
We haven't done anything on Amazon Live, but have contemplated another avenue that I've heard a lot of Shark Tank people having a lot of success on is TikTok Live or TikTok Shops. So it's kind of live selling on TikTok. It can be huge. So I think live, the way that people are looking to see things go is that live shopping process.
Mhm.
So, I've done so much of it before that I think I got a little burnout. And because we're focused mainly on the games right now, games are demonstrative, but it's not the same as showing the features of a product where you get really excited of like, oh, it does that too. Oh
Right,
my
right.
gosh. But wait, there's more. Games don't have that as much. But I feel like I'm limited in that maybe I just don't want to be the face of it. So I probably just need to get someone else to start doing those videos. We've actually thought about doing some Amazon Lives with our main game is called Taco versus Burrito. So our characters are these taco and a burrito, and we had these huge Japanese style mascots made of them. And so we were thinking maybe we'll do some fun videos, get some young people who can have fun with it and just think about
There we go.
entertainment. Because from our side, it's a little bit different approach. So I think we've been talking about this a lot internally because our product isn't about features. We're not selling you features. We're selling you the enjoyment, the entertainment, right?
Hmm.
So for us, we think about, and when we think about community building, we think about how do we entertain and add more value to our customers. And that's really where we go as we
Yeah,
go
we're
to
looking at it.
thinking about
And
having entertainment.
for those folks, Leslie, I just wanted to say, for those folks that are watching us on the video side of the podcast, you'll be able to see on the screen what Taco versus Burrito looks like. And it's been featured in a bunch of media outlets and publications.
Yeah, we've been really
And
lucky.
so you've done the whirlwind when it comes to media outlets, and it's kind of on fire in the
Yeah.
Amazon space, on Amazon itself. I know you've told me of some wonderful stories that have come out since you guys been all selling Taco versus Burrito on Amazon, being featured and on videos and all kinds of stuff that you've had
Yeah.
access to. And you recently told me about a story that you and I think Brian were in meetings with folks, senior people at
Uh,
Amazon?
yeah, Amazon here. And again, going back to that, seeing Amazon as a partner, I always have seen Amazon as a partner. When I see something I love about Amazon, I talk about it. Like I think, but like I said, it felt like my hands were tied when I was in retail, and I
Mhm.
feel like they give me so much access all the time, and I'm so grateful to them as a platform. I was really fortunate. They formed a department at Amazon called Voice of the Seller. I'm really
Mm.
impressed with the way that they're taking the lead and trying to listen to what sellers have to say about different areas and different things. And a couple weeks ago, they had something they call it a seller panel, and they have a number of sellers come in from around the country and talk about a specific topic. And leaders come and ask questions and want to really understand the seller experience because they're developing products, and having that feedback and understanding what our experience is. One thing that had come out from one of the seller panels, I did another one in October, was so fascinating because there was somebody there who was a reseller of product. And I realized as we're on the panel, oh my gosh. So because we have counterfeiters of our game, because once you
Oh,
become a
yeah, I
top
would
selling
imagine.
game, counterfeiters, we don't have a problem on Amazon at all, but we have it other places. But because we're in transparency, again, brand registry, transparency, you
Hold
know,
on. That one
not
to me, because I know about transparency. Ori, hit us with pro tip número tres.
Here comes a pro tip.
so I am a huge fan of transparency. You have to be brand registered to get into transparency. But what transparency allows you to do is to ensure that no one else is selling your product on Amazon on your listing.
Amazing.
It is key because we have so many counterfeiters. We play whack-a-mole. At one point, there were 82 listings of taco versus burrito on Walmart.com. That would never happen on Amazon because we are in transparency. So no one can send product in ever that doesn't have a transparency code on it. And we're the only ones that have that. So it's a great way to protect your brand and ensure you're not having a bunch of counterfeiters pop up. Do it in advance. Don't wait until you have a problem because it's really hard to solve once you have a problem. If you have a whole bunch of commingled stock that has some counterfeit and some non, that would be a pain in the
In the
booty.
rear, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt.
so I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that are using it. We know some bigger brands that are also using transparency, and it really does help cut down for brands on the hijacker problem as it relates to listings, and it helps control the good guys because one of
Yeah,
the other sides of the coin there is that you can allow authorized partners or partners that you want to have access to selling on Amazon with that program to be on those listings rather than having, like you said, 82 Joe Schmoes that you have no idea why they're selling your product. And it's awesome that Amazon has that. So it's one tool in the toolkit. And speaking of tools, before we jump into, and we've touched and danced around some of these things, we have something we call around here, Leslie, best kept secrets.
Well kept secrets, well kept secrets. Gotta keep them safe and sound. Well kept secrets are just like diamonds.
Thank you, Eddie, for helping write that song and composing. Eddie, if you don't know, maybe we could put Chatty, Kathy, and Eddie together and they can write some really good stuff.
the duet. I'll do a
Yeah,
duet.
exactly. So, best kept secrets. This is where you have the opportunity to share with that audience the things that you know are things that are maybe flying under the radar, misunderstood, but have been valuable to your success as a seller. And I know you and I had a chance to talk a little bit about them. So, one of the things that you mentioned was focus on brand building. This would be one of your best kept secrets, or one of the three that you'd mentioned to me that is something you have to focus on.
Agree. But I guess I did say that before. So yes, 100%. I think days of throwing up a listing that's just cheaper or whatever than another product are gone. I never was in this space, so it's easier for me to say. What I do know from our experience is if you build a brand that resonates with your customer, if you really think about seeing your customer and building brand, it sounds so generic, right? Oh, I should build a brand. How do I do that? Make sure that your customer sees themselves. You can do this down to the listing side of things.
Okay.
For us, we think about our main customer for Taco versus Burrito. Our main player is a kid between 7 and 15, probably, or
And they're not
12.
on the platform.
No.
So how do you
So their
talk?
parent, grandparent. It's not to
Mhm.
say that this game isn't really popular with adults or with other people. We just know from looking at the brand analytics data, we could see what we convert best on is gifts for these younger people, games for kids, family games, those kinds of things. Once you look at the brand analytics data, it will tell you what you're performing best on. And that's
Hmm.
what I recommend. Then you look at making sure your listing represents. So go back through, look and make sure maybe there's a sweet spot for who's going to play it, but who's going to be buying it, right? Grandparents could be
Mhm.
buying it. Make sure that there's some grandparents in your listing showing the pictures of people. And you can do a lot of this through user generated content, right? Like you can get images of people playing the game. You don't have to say, great gift from grandparents to whatever. No one's reading those things, right? They want to visually see themselves represented. And I think that this is a huge opportunity for a lot of brands when you look at a ton of different spaces. I think when people look at things, they think, oh, let's get the beautiful model and let's get this very curated and clean and other, things
Yeah, very
related to
Instagrammy.
very Instagrammy. But what performs is often more what shows up on TikTok type thing. Like those
Right.
people are real people. And if you see yourself, I've not seen the studies on these things, but when you can see yourself in the picture, so I'm 53. So if I'm looking at a product or like a vitamin and I only see women in their 20s, I'm most likely not looking to buy that.
If you see yourself in that product, it appeals to you. There's people that say you see that part of you, that 20-year-old, and that because you're quote aspiring to be that, or you're
Yeah.
just like, heck no, I've already done my 20s.
Yeah.
I'm loving life where I'm at right now.
Right. And I think there's something so behind you. There might be something aspirational. I think there is something to that. So, for example, you want to show an ideal situation, like you want to show a family having an amazing time. Maybe my family doesn't have an amazing time. We're really not having a good time and whatever. But like you can be aspirational towards that. But if I don't see a family, like if I don't see, like if I'm not even in the picture in any way or and I can't see myself in it, I'm just going to move on until I do. And I think there's just such an opportunity to I think of Amazon as a partner, but I also think of my customers as partners. If I'm just going to X out a whole group of people and not show them that I value them by showing them in listings and showing them in content and trying to focus on what they find important, then I'm essentially saying there's probably something that you should be looking at, a different page. Go to a different page. There's something else
Right.
for
You're
you.
probably leaving money on the table by doing so,
Yeah.
by not addressing at least the core audience that you have.
And
you,
one thing I don't mean to interrupt,
for
but
it.
I,
No, go for it.
I was just thinking about this. And I think what happens with people, and I would say this, is that they think, I don't want to X out any community, right? So we found our sweet spot for this age group and we focused on that for the listing. Adults do love this game and there are bars that will just have taco versus burrito night and they'll just play the game. So I love that, right? So what we
Yeah.
did was we pulled in adults playing the game into the UGC and it's all mixed in, but there is a focus in one way, but I've not X'd anybody out. But you can't appeal to everybody, but you can include everybody by just doing it in collages of UGC.
Right. We've actually had a ton of fun with this part of growing our brand, analyzing not just who's buying our products, but analyzing things like, so we send out newsletters so we
Yeah.
can get that feedback and we can see everything from their age, their gender. Maybe it's not super microscopic, but it gives us a nice picture. And then we come together as a team, review that data, look at our landing pages, look at our thumbnails, look at some of this other content and say, how can we do this better to appeal to the crowd that already has their eyeballs on the products that we're selling in our marketplace? And we've tested things and we've come back with some successful, some not successful. But I think building the brand, for us, we have so much fun with it. And to ignore that, you're ignoring some of the fun of being within that organization and having that brand power more than
Yeah.
just selling the product. People are definitely looking for more
Right.
than just the piece of plastic that's on your listing. They want to know who's behind it and who can support them after that's out there. That's
Oh,
how.
completely. Agreed.
No doubt, Dave. And as part of not leaving any money on the table, and one of those other secrets, you touched on it, but I just want to highlight it here. Secret number 2 was seeing Amazon as a partner. And I know that having sold for 10 years on the platform, there are days where I feel Amazon is not my partner.
Mhm.
And there are days where I feel like Amazon is the enemy. But you said something to me a couple of weeks ago when we were talking how this is my approach and this is how I look at even from a networking standpoint and leveraging LinkedIn to make those connections, and that there are a lot of really good people within the Amazon world that are at Amazon that do want to help sellers. They want them to succeed because they know if we succeed, they make more money, right?
Completely. I go completely. And I do, beyond just seeing it from a functional day to day perspective and playing within the rules and doing the things the way they're supposed to. LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn. I'll just say that. I didn't used to. It's so funny. I got into it just because I was trying to reach out to someone and I didn't realize you could get access. The level of access you can get to people on LinkedIn is
Yes,
amazing, right?
it is
So
indeed.
just following some of the leaders at Amazon, you're going to learn a ton. And that'll get you into the right mindset about how to be a good partner to them, right? Just
Yes.
following from the beginning. But if you comment on something, most likely they're going to comment back. I mean, there are amazing leaders who are actively responding to things, and you're one seller, but you can get access to those folks that way. I don't spend a ton of time on it a month, but I do try to go in and try to think about, you know, how I can learn more about Amazon. Which areas can I learn more about? They're very focused on climate pledge, right? So again, talking about seeing it as a partner. Amazon bought an arena here and they call it Climate Pledge Arena. Are they focused on
Really?
climate pledge? Heck yes, they're focused. So if your partner says, this is my focus, climate pledge, right?
Yeah. I think you're talking about pro tip numero cuatro. Ori, pro tip numero cuatro.
Here comes a pro tip.
I think we've all seen things on listings where it says something is climate pledge friendly. But I think a lot of
Okay.
people think, oh, if my product isn't a green product, like I don't sell a disposable or a compostable, whatever, that I'm not eligible for this. And that is just not true. Amazon has done a ton of stuff to make this easy for its partners. And that's us. That's how I see it.
Hmm?
But basically, they went out and looked at and vetted a whole bunch of companies that can help us get Climate Pledge certified so that we can get the Climate Pledge friendly badge. That
Right.
badge is gold today. I believe everybody
Why?
should
Why
go
is
and
that?
do
Why is
it.
that, Leslie? Why do you think that that badge, which
Yeah,
appears on some listings and some not, why is that gold?
I think it's gold because one, there are a number of ways it's showing up. It's showing up on your listing. You get more real estate on in the search,
Mm.
but also people can filter products by that. So if they're filtering out your product because you don't have it, that's a big miss. Additionally,
Mhm.
there's a bunch of new segments on the landing pages that are for just climate pledge products, and it's advertising you're not paying for. So
Oh,
I
okay.
highly recommend it. Also, I think they've basically told us this is an important thing. They've had some stats they can share that I think people with climate pledge, I could be getting the stat wrong. People with climate pledge are doing 10% more than those without.
Wow.
So
That I'm paying
yeah,
attention now.
exactly.
A 10% lift, that's significant.
Yeah. And I would love to give a shout out to a group called Climate Partners. That's how we got certified. So
Okay.
for those of you who think, okay, I can't get climate pledge friendly because like I said, I don't do a compostable product or whatever. Climate Partners does carbon offset. So what they do is we got a bunch of information from our manufacturers and sent it to them, and they estimated out our impact, our carbon footprint. What
Mm.
impact are we having? We pay offsets to offset that impact on the environment for our product. And then we
Interesting.
get the Climate Pledge Friendly badge. It doesn't
Mm.
take more than a couple months to get done. You can do it on an ASIN per ASIN basis. It's worth a try to see if it's a good fit for you. And it's great for the environment. You get to back these amazing programs that can be about reforestation or various other types of things.
Is it
Basically, you're,
expensive? That's the other question
yeah,
that I think
you,
people would have. Is it an expensive process to do offsets
it's a
and all
good
that other stuff?
question. Yeah. What I loved about them is that they don't charge a yearly maintenance fee. Some of these do. Oh, by the way, I'll back up a little bit on Climate Partners. If you have a product that could get the Compact by Design certification, and that is an internal program, I would suggest anybody to go
Uh,
and look that up. Compact by
hold
Design.
up, back up again.
Yeah.
Let's just repeat. Let's go slow on that one. Let's
Yeah.
not gloss
Sorry.
over that one. Compact by Design. Is this an Amazon program?
It is an Amazon program, and
Okay.
it's only for certain categories. So games were not a category for it, but if you're in detergents or other things, if your product doesn't have a lot of waste in it in the packaging and in the things, there's potential you could get this automatically. All you need to do is submit a ticket, and if you look it up, I'm sure you'll be able to find a link to it. But I submitted anyway because I thought, what's it going to hurt? And within an hour, I got the nope, you're not eligible.
I
So,
love your attitude, Leslie. You're just like, what the heck? I'll submit it anyways.
I mean, the rules could have changed from what I'm seeing
Yes.
online, you never
Yes.
know. So I figure why not submit? But that one is your first bet because it's free. But I will say I'm thrilled we weren't eligible for it because I love doing the carbon offsets because really it shows it's another part of our building our brand. We're telling our story. We're actually getting ready in Q4 of this year to go into Target. And we will be doing carbon
Nice.
offsets for that, even though there's no benefit. We don't get a badge, we don't get anything extra, but we'll still do the offsets for that because once we realized, hey, look, we are actually looking to make sure that when we make our product, it's actually a net positive for the environment. And so we actually go above and beyond what's required. And it makes us feel great. And that's how we approach it. So,
I'm all
oh,
about feeling great. And
yeah,
go ahead.
you
Just go
asked
ahead.
about the price. So price
Hmm.
wise, you're paying a fee to get assessed. And I'm not sure what their rate is now. When I did it, it was $1,200 per ASIN. If you have a bunch of colors, it's all combined. You're not paying per color if you have a bunch of variation. But it's worth trying one product. You'll get the assessment. You haven't had to pay any offsets yet, but yearly I do pay offsets. And it ends up being for us about 5 cents a unit is what we're paying as offset. And for us, our product is cheap and easy to make. And it's no big deal to pay the extra 5 cents, especially if it's a 10% lift. Hello, I think I'll
Yeah.
take
So
it.
it's
Yeah, and it's a hard thing to track to know that's actually happening. But I would say I think it's becoming the norm. And if you don't do it, eventually all your competitors will. And then you're going to lose out on that advertising. And while you might find that you're having to do it again later anyway, just to compete, why not do it now when you can actually get the leg up?
No, why not? Absolutely. And speaking of competitors, Leslie, the competition is fierce. It is not what it was pre-COVID or even years before that. The competition is fierce and only going to get stronger as all the different tools are available around the world to different sellers. And one of the things that you said that the third valuable secret was to take advantage of all the tools Amazon offers on the platform. So tell us about that, because some of those are like brand registry, right? And transparency and some of
Mhm.
those, but sometimes they go under the radar and you need those relationships to surface those other tools that are maybe in beta or testing or other things like that. Tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, I would say, like you guys were saying before, if Amazon's telling you they value video, think about how you can incorporate that more. I personally love going to Accelerate every year. Amazon Accelerate is a conference that they put on every year, and they're basically
Mhm.
telling you what's coming up, which is great, but also what they
Yeah.
value. And if you use that as your North Star as to, okay, let's go that route. But from taking advantage of all of the different programs that they offer, we are in a program called Launchpad. I always start in Launchpad. The program's changed a lot. I think it's not open for new members right now, but check it out because it might have changed. I know they were restructuring the program, but I love Launchpad. through Launchpad, we get a free strategic account manager. So I'm going to take advantage of that, of
Ooh,
course. Yes,
those are
right?
not
Free
cheap.
is my
Yeah.
favorite price point. And
Yeah.
when I joined Launchpad, we had to pay 3% of our sales. And all of a sudden it became free. Okay, that was mind blowing when all of a sudden I realized, whoa, I just saved $200,000. That's great.
Yes, like A plus
Yeah.
content.
Yes.
The sellers were and brands really were paying through the nose for the A plus premium. Right now, as of this taping, it's still free. By the
Yeah.
way, Leslie, nobody can quite confirm yet. I've talked to multiple people at Amazon, can confirm on a date when A plus premium is going to be paid, but there's rumblings in different places that I've talked to within Amazon of Amazon employees. They're saying they're hearing more of that. So I guess we are on notice that at some
See.
point or
Yeah.
any point, it'll become a paid service of some sort.
Yeah, and we had access to premium A plus content for the past 3 years or 4 years, because we got
Lucky
it early
dog.
because of Launchpad, right? So, like I said,
Lucky
going and
dog.
taking advantage of certain programs, we're looking for ways to take advantage of anything that they have out there. We haven't done the buy with Prime on our website, but we will, because we feel like if we support the programs that they're doing, this is a benefit all around. If I take advantage
Mhm.
of every program, every option that comes my way, I eventually find nuggets in there that really make a huge benefit. Having access to the premium A plus content before through Launchpad, we are waiting to find out if even if it did change to be paid, maybe we don't have to pay. We look for those things that we take advantage of. They offer coupons and promotions and all of the different tools that we can use. I say take advantage of all of them and be careful. Don't let them stack too much and end up losing too much money. We do deals, we do everything that there is possible from the marketing side. We look for that. If you brand stories, do take advantage of them. If
Yes.
there's a tool,
Yes.
take advantage of it. Most of
No
them are
doubt.
free, so why not? It's my favorite
Eh,
price point, by the way.
That is
Free.
free is always the best price point. I love that. Free is
And
my
what you're
favorite price point. I love that.
and this segment would be $1 million advice for free.
Yeah, which is my favorite part.
Wow. No, that's awesome. You know, Amazon takes a lot of twists and turns, and you never know
100%.
what's going to happen. But if you had a crystal ball, Leslie, and you were
Ooh.
looking down the road and you see the writing on the wall, what kind of predictions would you make that are coming down the road?
I'm really optimistic. I am.
Okay,
I'm really,
go for it.
being as I have gone to a couple of these seller panels, I actually have another one tomorrow talking about seller support. And the fact that
Mhm.
Amazon is really listening and trying to listen. And I know from a day to day, if you're doing your work, you're not feeling it yet, but they're making active advances in
Like
trying
what?
to
Come
hear.
on. I'm gonna challenge you on this
Yeah.
one because we have a dedicated person on staff that her mission is to just file tickets,
Yeah.
make sure the tickets are closed properly by Amazon because they'll close stuff on you and you're like, we didn't
Yeah.
even get a resolution. What talk about closing this ticket?
Right.
What is the leadership telling you with support? Because when we talk to MDS folks and anywhere else, people don't have a lot of good things to say in that regard with support.
Right.
What are you hearing?
Right. I will say I haven't got the seller panel related to seller support is tomorrow, so I'll have more
We got to
information
do
for
part
there.
two.
But, yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
hear. Part two.
Exactly. But I will say just the fact that they're having a seller panel focused on this. So the questions we got asked to bring answers to, give examples of when you felt like they weren't listening or give examples of these things. They're actively seeking out information on how they can do things better. And I think as someone who, like I said, I see them as a partner, so I'm coming in with suggestions and things I
Sure. Can
think
I
that
give
can
you
be
one?
done.
Can I give you one when you go in
Sure.
there? Because we deal with a lot of enterprises that are big and they have call centers because we work with call centers.
Yeah.
We would love if there was a way for them to empower more of their frontline people when you open a ticket. Because a
Mm,
lot of times they don't have the power to make a decision. They're not
mm,
empowered to resolve the problem. They don't have the knowledge base for the problem you've got.
mm.
And therefore they have to escalate it to somebody else. And it's very frustrating in today's age where
Yeah.
we do have AI, I mean, they have AWS and sitting right under their feet, that somehow that's not being leveraged to the best purpose possible, because the more they can resolve with a frontline agent, the less frustration, the less back and
Oh, for
forth.
sure.
So that would say, when you go there, take that forward with them. Hey, I talked to another seller. Is there a way to empower frontline people that are taking the support requests from day one rather than day 10 when you got to escalate it and all the rest, and talk to Jeff and all the rest when nobody can get you answers?
Yeah. Yeah. I will definitely pass that along. But I think really when we look at how they're listening to us, I am very optimistic about the future of
All
things.
right.
So I think the new capacity manager that rolled out is an
Yeah. For
adjustment for
FBA.
people.
So for
For
those
FBA.
folks that are BA,
Yeah.
shipping capacity stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year, we didn't have any visibility, even week to week, what our inventory limits were going to be. Now we have 3 months in advance. Like I can
Mm.
see for
That's
a
a good
seasonal
thing.
product like myself. Like I remember last year when there was a variability in our inventory limits in the middle of our peak time. And that gets so stressful, right? Now I'll know for sure. It might not ever feel fast enough, but having seen that roll out after what kind of Q4 was a tricky one for a lot of people this last year because of the inventory side, and seeing that change is impressive. And I'm excited to see, like I said, I just knowing they have a voice of the seller department that's organizing seller panels and trying to get executives and leadership and other people to connect with sellers individually. Only good things can come of that, right?
That is a
And
good thing. That is a
yeah,
good thing. That is a wonderful thing. And I want to share with our audience, Leslie, something that you showed me, because I'm still tickled by the way you go about connecting with Amazon folk. You shared with me, you have your message ready and on
yeah,
LinkedIn, and how you do it, your little process. And if I'm drinking a little wine and having some fun and some music's
yeah,
I just ping them, and
yes.
I was like, huh, gotta do that. Because that's
They're just
really,
people, right?
they're people. Exactly. They are
They're
people.
people. And think about also if you're on LinkedIn and you get messages to you and it's just like nothing, right? And it's nothing personal. It's nothing. It's just, oh, or saw your profile, thought we should connect. I get that.
Yeah.
That kind of is general or whatever.
That's a
But there,
daily for me. I get tons of those.
oh yeah.
I saw
And,
your
and it's
profile.
occasionally I see a templated one and I see it in 3 or 4 places and I'm like, oh, wait, is there a bot doing this? Because I am not
Yes.
thinking these are real.
Chatty
But
Cathy is sharing tips with somebody else on how to
exactly.
spam folks.
Exactly. For me, because I see them as a partner, when I see somebody posting about things, I don't think twice about reaching out to them and I have something pre-prepared. I'm very pro Amazon. I'm so grateful. My son created a game when he was 7 years old and we sell over $8 million a year at this game. This is never gonna happen on another platform. I'm not doing that at Walmart or Target out of the gate. I'm not able to grow that way.
No, it's
I
hard. It's
I'm
hard. Look,
so
I
grateful.
was a manager over at Philip Morris, Altria, so it's Kraft
Oh,
Foods and
yeah.
all that. And we dealt with the Walmart, and you're paying a lot to have prime real estate. A lot of
Yeah.
the Philip Morris brands, Altria brands, you pay. And like you said, you don't have control. And coming in as a small player or getting something off the ground at Walmart is nearly impossible. Amazon gives you the opportunity. You got to
Right.
take advantage of it, build it. You got to put in the time. But it's very difficult as a startup to come in cold in Walmart and be like, give me this shelf space and put me here and there.
Completely. So when I reach out to people on LinkedIn, I'd lead with the gratitude. I funnel that like, I still can't believe I was able to do this with my son goes to middle school and I work on this part-time and we have a little small team and we can still grow big brands and do great things because of the Amazon platform. So when you lead with gratitude and you lead with that approach, who doesn't feel good about their job? I think there's just
Wasn't
an
that was the
amazing,
thing you told me, that because they're people,
yeah,
if you lead not only with gratitude, but hey, I love the Amazon thing that you're working on. I love the new thing. Da, 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 da.
yeah,
They feel good about themselves. There's some psychology to that. They feel good about themselves. So you're screwing me with
right.
fees and
Oh
leading
God,
with
yeah.
some of the good stuff. So
Who's gonna accept that?
Because a lot of times when you work for a big brand, everyone within the walls of that brand is telling you how great you are.
Yeah.
And it's really about having someone external saying how great you are that
Right.
makes you say, oh, you know what? I'm glad that I represent a great brand that other people appreciate. And then their wall is down.
Exactly.
That's a really good approach. You know,
Exactly.
I think about some of the people that I've reached out to intentionally on Amazon. I've always put a personalized message, and I don't think anyone has not accepted my connection
Yeah.
request. Yeah,
Exactly. I
that
think a
goes a long way.
personalized note has to be in there. If you just
Oh,
do
without
a
a doubt.
little connect, you're going to get nothing. If you do direct connection and you can make that connection, and I won't call out a person, but I reached out to a director at Amazon and he accepted the request. And then he wrote back, "It's funny that you reached out because my son has a game he's created." And I was like, "Hey, if you ever want to play test or need any advice, let me know." He's like, "That would be great. Would you want to get together?" I'm like, "Come over to my house." So they've been coming over a couple times a month, or they've come over a couple times, and
You
we've played
son of
tested.
a dog,
That
you.
that game is amazing. We've never really talked about Amazon because we're connecting about games, but
Yes.
it's an amazing, they're people, right?
Hmm.
So he in this situation is me when my son had his idea when he was 7. It's that connection, and I think if you think of Amazon as a partner and remember that they're people, and then approach it that way. I think you're gonna find a lot more success in connecting with people.
Thank you. Thank you for that advice.
I know. That is just tremendous because now tremendous things are going to happen with this next piece here, Leslie. This is called rapid fire. I'm going to give you a word or phrase and just tell me what comes into your mind, what pops in there when I give you this phrase. If it's just one word or if it's a sentence, whatever it is, it's your idea, your thoughts. So here we go. All right. So here's the first phrase: Chinese sellers.
Challenging, I would say. In my category, it's not a big deal. We have to deal with counterfeit, which would
Mm-hmm.
be a Chinese seller, but we don't, because of transparency, we don't have that problem on Amazon. But I would say challenging. I feel for those folks in categories
Yeah.
that have a lot
Oh,
of
yes.
sellers there.
It's a challenging space if you've got them in there. Next one: Amazon seller support.
Has a lot of opportunity for improvement,
Oh, I
I would
love your
say.
positivity.
I mean,
I
a
love
lot. Just think of the small tweaks that can be made to just
Yes.
certain key things. And I'm very optimistic, like I said, because I've seen the interest in learning more.
All right. Wonderful. Tick tock.
What is that? Just kidding. I do know what TikTok is. I've got to say, as I mentioned earlier, I'm 53, so it's not my platform. It's not the thing I'm used to.
What's your
I
platform?
think it's huge. I really, to be honest, I'm not a big social media other than the Facebook group that we're both in.
Facebook. Yep. Okay.
But I'm not a social media type person, but I think TikTok is huge. I think the shopping side of TikTok, I've seen huge success from other Shark Tank people. I think that's going to be a big future of e-commerce is going to be the TikTok shopping side of things.
Yeah, without a doubt. And when you start diving into that, make sure you hook up with Rolando. He's learned quite a lot about
Awesome.
talk on this.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Whenever you're ready, Leslie, we'll put a live on TikTok. We'll put some games and other whatever you want. I'd
I
love
love
to
it.
play a game live with you with Taco
Oh, that'd be so
Burrito
fun. That'd be so
on
fun.
TikTok.
Fun. You should.
All right.
What a great way
We
to
gotta-
demonstrate your product.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Game live.
I
All
love
right.
We'll
it.
do it.
We got
So, Dave,
two more for rapid fire. Mastermind groups.
Essential, and the right one is important. Like for me, I only spend time in $1 Million Seller Group. One thing I think is important when you look for a mastermind group is the openness of the members. What I love about MDS is that people go above and beyond sharing what's working for them because someone else is also sharing and they're getting it back tenfold. I think the atmosphere that they've created there has been amazing. And I think that's the key is if people are open and willing to share.
It all
indeed.
comes down to the members, right?
Yeah.
In the last piece here for rapid fire, retail versus Amazon.
Oh, that's a good one. As I said, I feel like our success doesn't come without Amazon. I think Amazon is the preferred. Anyone can start on Amazon. Not everyone can start in retail. This year in Q4, we will Taco vs. Burrito will launch in all stores Target, and it's new for us. We're nervous about it, but they've been coming to us for a while trying to get us to come over. But I'd had such a bad experience before that I was like, no, I have total control over this mechanism and it's a cash cow. Why would I change it up? But we're
Mm.
really excited. They've been great to work with. It'll be interesting. We do know in our category, games, 25%, 30% of all games are sold on Amazon and 25% are at Target.
Ooh,
We
so
don't want
you'll
to miss out on
expand.
that section.
So you'll expand your market share very quickly just by
Yeah.
being in Target.
Yeah. And really, we think about we've met everybody. We can connect with people who are on Amazon, but what about those who aren't? And we don't want to miss out on.
Mhm.
And your
Yeah.
packaging for your games is so attractive. I'm just gravitated to those images. I think that would do phenomenally well on that back wall at Target,
I like
which,
it.
by the way, I guess I'd never really thought about it till now. Yeah, Target is the place to go for board games.
Yeah.
And I went
Huge
there
game.
recently for Christmas, the whole back wall just expanded. It was the whole back wall. It was all games.
And I will say my experience dealing with the buyer and going through a distributor for games at Target was so different than what I'd had before. I think maybe because our product is proven. I think you go to Amazon, prove your product, and then consider retail because
Mhm.
you'll come in a lot stronger. They're invested in trying to keep us there. We were the number one game in Q4 last year, and it's not in Target. So they're motivated to try and make it a good experience for us
I
as
mean,
well.
you got the upper hand in that situation rather than you knocking at their door. They're saying, Leslie, come on.
Yeah.
What will
Prove
it
it
take to
out.
bring taco versus burrito into our stores?
Exactly. So I think Amazon for starting out is key. And we could have stayed solely Amazon forever, but we're excited for this new change.
That's terrific, Leslie. I love hearing that and how well you've been killing it on Amazon and that this new frontier is opening up to you. So that's awesome. Leslie, if folks want to reach out to you, I know you said you're not too heavy on social media, but maybe an interested retail store or a brand wants to reach out to you to consult, where should they get in touch with you?
LinkedIn, that's where you
LinkedIn.
go. And
All right.
definitely put a note or I'm not going to accept it. And mention the podcast. And I'm like, oh, yeah, done. Think about when you reach out to anybody. If they tell you how they know you, you're like, okay, great. This is different than LinkedIn is telling me we should connect. That's
Yeah.
so inspiring.
LinkedIn recommended that I
Yeah.
talk.
Real personal.
I love it. I love it. Leslie, I could ask you stuff and oh yeah, we've got her profile right now
Yes.
for those that are watching via the video on the internet. We've got Leslie's wonderful LinkedIn profile with her debut on Shark Tank as her splash image. So kudos to you again for being on Shark Tank and getting a deal. Not
Ew.
everybody is able to
So
get a
much
deal.
fun.
So, Leslie, I've had a blast. We have to do part 2 because I want to know what the heck is going to happen in this seller panel that you're going to go to. And hopefully they'll come out with some good suggestions and execution about seller support. I'm highly interested in that. But for those that have been watching as well as listening along, you've been listening to the podcast of What the Tech with Leslie Pierson today, who is a maven on Amazon, going to be a maven now at Target, and an all-around standout entrepreneur. And if you want to listen to more standout entrepreneurs, I invite you to go check out some of our previous episodes on circuitloops.com or wherever you consume your podcasts like Spotify or Google Podcasts. We're on all those platforms. So go ahead and check those out so that you can grow your business faster. I've got a couple of videos out on the screen, so go ahead and check those out. Dave and I will see you in those episodes.
Thanks for listening to What the Tech. Be sure to check out our other episodes featuring awesome tech and amazing guests. Find them on circuitloops.com or wherever you consume your favorite podcasts.